Hello, everyone, and welcome to another wonderful week through the Enchanted spreads. Now, the Enchanted spreads are meant to hit in on some of the harsher points in life and with fairy tale and folklores to help us understand with some better guidance. But again, these are the grim stories, so they are a little bit darker, but that's okay. We'll get through. All right, we have what comes from picking flowers. Now, this story is about three daughters and a son. The three girls were really just kind of innocent and pure, and they wanted what they wanted. The oldest went out and she saw a flower and she picked it, not knowing that she was actually in the enchanted forest. And you can't pick the fairies' flowers, guys. Cannot mess with the fae. Okay, so she picked one of those fairies' flower, and poof, she went away. And the second sister went out to look for her other sister. And she too stumbled across the very same path that her sister was on. She too could not help but to pick a beautiful flower that she's seen. And when she picked that, poof, she went away. So the third sister went out and she too followed suit, much of the same. She went, she saw flowers, could not resist the beauty of it, and just had to pick it, and she too went poof. Now, of course, their mother was distraught, and she sent their older brother on really an impossible mission to find his sisters. Now, he was quite smart, their brother, and he went about some ways to trick a few people out of some of their prized possessions so that he was able to go and capture and rescue his older sister. But when he got there, he realized that two of his sisters had been married off and they were doing okay. And the third sister was in with a monster, one who would not let her go. And the only how you could kill him was to crack an egg over his head, which basically wasn't going to happen. So it was an impossible task that was given to him. He went along and went on a journey to go about saving all of his sisters. And eventually he was able to trick the final monster and free his sister of that spell. Now, the thing about this story is you are meant to throw so much caution. One, what happens when you pick something that's too soon, right? If it's not ripe, if it's not the time, you need to let it sit and allow it to grow to its full extent. If you go and you take before it's time, you'll notice that you end up with the consequences, right? So a lot of us go and we say we want or we have this desire for something, we see it and we want it, but we oftentimes don't look at the consequences that could come from taking it or having it in that moment. A lot of people go on about relationships and how bad they want it and how they've done all this to get it. But then once they have it, they realize, just like the youngest sister, they're married to a monster. They're with someone who is not the kindest, right? And then they think to themselves, all I want to do is get away. Here, you are meant to know that your family is your support system. You do have people who care and who will be there to be able to lean on and also to save you if you need it. This is telling you that this is a time to sow and not to reap right now. Plant your seeds, wait for things to come in the time that they're supposed to, and then you'll have all the rewards that you're meant to. But understand that this is a time you're meant to listen to the people around you and not go off and make free willy-nilly decisions, and to not go and just do whatever you want to do, because if you do, understand there will be consequences to those actions. This card warns you so much of greed. Be very, very cautious of whatever you have going on around you, and make sure you pay attention to this tell. You do not want to go and make hasty decisions just because something seems right or feels right in this moment. Take time to view all sides of it, and then you'll be okay. I hope you enjoyed this story, and make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe if you want to see more content. We'll see you next time.
What's this?